I want to thank Larry Taylor Jr., a managing partner at the Cochran firm, and with the American Association for Justice, sponsored this symposium with the Texas Southern University Thurgood Marshall School of Law, the Earl Carl Institute for Legal and Social Policy, and the Center for Justice Research. I also want to thank all of our panelists, and with an especial thank you to our keynote speaker, NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund President and Director Counsel Sherilyn Ifill, a champion for equality and justice. This symposium could have easily been titled Leave No Stone Unturned, in that it presented the ways in which the problem of police misconduct is being addressed through the lens of the criminal justice system, the tools of the civil law system, and the reach of the Constitution and constitutional law. As we close, it is left to each and every one of us to do our part to ensure that everyone is treated equally under the law and their God-given natural rights respected.
Well, thank you, Dean, and thank you for the opportunity to host this event at TSU and with the help of Thurgood Marshall School of Law as well as the faculty. So thank you for your time. And for you guys who don't know, Dean Bullock herself is a history maker and someone that we should all be proud to lead this fine institution into the next decade. Her resume is so impressive that we would have to start all over again just to read the first 2 pages. So thank you for your time. I want to leave you with some thoughts, because we all know that this issue involves systemic racism, and it affects African Americans and Black people so disproportionate. However, I do not want to take the light that is also needed on other issues. A lot of people think that these issues involve people who officers are dealing with during criminal matters, but I want to bring back that it also involves innocent bystanders. Ms. Taylor was an innocent bystander in her own home. She wasn't doing anything but doing something that we all do, which is to go to bed after a hard day work. She was a first responder. I represent 2 young women who were college students who were murdered in their dorm room. Because of qualified immunity, we are unable to even get information that relates to who was on staff, what companies were involved. This is why we are here today. We talked with Chris. If you get a chance to go to the clubhouse and listen to what his families have to say, you will be heartbroken. He had to call this week. I literally had to mute and get myself together. No one should lose a family member, a child, a brother, a sister behind senseless violence. We have to do something to make sure that we provide resources so that these things don't happen. But understand, by no means do they just happen to people of color. We need to make sure that we address these issues so that we, the people, redefined, that will include all of us and leave no one out. We must continue to have symposiums and do the work that we're doing today. And I thank the foundation, the Robert L. Habish Foundation, for sponsoring this event and making sure that we all have access to the courts, because that is how we're going to be able to get justice for these families. I also want to encourage you guys once again to stay connected, stay involved, to make sure that you're educated on the issues and find out what you can do to make a difference. The George Floyd bill is now out of the House and floating around, looking to go to the Senate, but as one of our speakers said earlier today, we need you to exercise your voices to our elected officials to make sure that they understand that we, the people, need to make changes. I myself am not immune from the ills that take place in dealing with discrimination. It's something that grapples and I wrestle with all the time on a daily basis. Until we get to a point where all of us can leave the house with the same feeling of being secure without making sure that, well, what do I have on? What am I driving? What do I look like? And worrying about where I'm going and if I will be harassed. We have not truly lived up to we, the people. And so just like I do when I have my trials, I always like to leave you with a little extra time because I think when you give back time, people like you better. And so right now we roughly have 5 minutes left, but I am going to leave you now with we, the people. Let's define it as the words state. We, all of us, leaving no one behind, regardless of gender, sexual orientation, ethnicity, where you were born, because in this country, it's we the people. Thank you. I'm Larry Taylor with the Cochran Firm, and I've enjoyed moderating this, and thank you for all those who played a role in making sure that this happened. Thank you and God bless.